Hello, and welcome back. I'm so glad you could join me again this week. We are continuing with Legend of Luke. Saying it right this time. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. Remember the whole YouTube thing, like, share, subscribe. It helps the videos spread around if you enjoy them, of course. If you don't enjoy them, you don't have to do anything. Thank you to my Patreon supporters, Avalon Link and Lizzie, who are the two at this time of recording. If there are more, I'll add them on screen somewhere. If you would like to join them, there are links to support the channel down below. You may do so at your leisure. But now, I think we're going to continue on with The Legend of Luke by Brian Jacques, Chapter 6. By mid-morning, the stream had widened out considerably. Small white clouds decorated the sunny skies, and a gentle breeze convinced the friends they should erect the mast pole and spread sail. Dinny was never fond of water, and had to be dug out of the jumble of sail canvas where he had hidden himself. Gonf, however, took on a decidedly nautical mood, calling out orders. "Ahoy, mateys! Rig up that mast pole amidships, will ye? Set sail and unfurl smart-like to catch the breeze." Martin and Trimp chuckled as Dinny threw a derisory salute. "Oi, oi, Captain Gunf, sir, do we got any more orders for us incoming water beasts?" Hiding a grin, Gonf called back haughtily. "I say, Martin, tie a rock to that fat old mole's tail and chuck him in the river, will you? He's slowing us up." Bushy-edged banks slipped by, casting lacy patterns of sunshadow on the translucent waters. Trimp munched on a damson scone and sipped raspberry cordial. This is the life, pals. Ouch! A muddy stick came spinning out of the north bank bushes, striking her on the cheek, followed by a mocking imitation of the hogmaid's voice. "This is the life, pals!" Martin grabbed a pole and punted the raft towards the south bank. Gonf's sharp eyes picked out the culprit. "There he is. See, running along behind the bushes." They followed the direction of Gaunt's outstretched paw. A young gray-brown rat was barely visible among the foliage. Then it emerged onto the bank, pointing back at the mouse thief and mimicking his voice in a nasty manner. "Running along behind the bushes, behind the bushes!" Martin's grip relaxed on his sword hilt. "Ignore the little villain. He's only trying to annoy us." The rat flung another stick, but the raft was now too far away from the north bank to be hit. He stuck out his tongue at Martin. "Ignore the little villain! Little villain!" Chugger looked astern and shook a tiny paw at the rat. "Go away, naughty mouse, or I'll biff ya!" Martin took hold of the little squirrel, who was about to jump from the raft, and held him wriggling in the air. Now, I told you, ignore the naughty mouse." But something unlikable in the creature's swaggering attitude caught Gonf's attention. He stood up. "I thought there was a mouse at first, but he's a sneaky young water rat. Look at that thick tail, mates." The rat stuck his claws in both ears and waggled them impudently at the mouse thief, dancing up and down provokingly. "Oh, look at his tail, mates! Look at his tail! Gonf whipped out his sling and fitted a small pebble to it and lobbed it expertly off. The stone, which Gonf had not cast with any great force, caught the rat a stinging blow on the tail. It leapt up and down, clinging to its tail and howling tearfully. "Oh, the mouse nearly slayed me! Ow!" Gonf returned his impression of the whining vermin. "Ow, the mouse nearly slayed me! Ow!" The rat stopped yelling, his face a picture of fury. "You shut your face! You think you're funny, don't ya?" Trimp came to stand beside Gonf. "What's the matter, rat? You don't like a taste of your own medicine? Be off with you. Go and boil your ugly head." The rat kept running along the bank to keep up with the raft, throwing twigs, mud, and anything he could lay paws upon. But they fell far short of the travelers. He was livid with rage, shrieking out at them. "Oh, you done it now! Wait and see! Nearly slayed Riddick, son of Mighty Gurfang, boss of all stream rats!" Not fitted another stone to his sling, a proper-sized rock this time. "Oh, stop whining and run home to your daddy. Quick now, or I'll show you what a real sling stone can do. I'll give you the count to 3, rat. 1, 2... Riddick stopped running and dashed hastily into the bushes, still calling out threats to his enemies. Don't go to sleep tonight. Better not turn your back. You's like dead beasts. Wait and see. Martin sighed, shaking his head at Gonf. That's all we need. More trouble. First the flitch eye, now stream rat. Didn't I tell you to ignore him? Trimp was about to agree when Denny interrupted. Burn nor could I, Marthin, though I'd do got knee vermin a good crack first with my slinger. Chugger thrust out his little jaw truculently. And I would have swimmed and bite his tail off, too. Martin tickled Chugger behind the ear fondly. I wager that would have made him jump, Chug? Personally, I felt a desire to kick that younger's tail up and down the bank a bit, just to teach him a lesson in manners. But keep your ears peeled, matey. I have a feeling we haven't heard the last of this little incident. The remainder of a pleasant day was spoiled for Trimp. She watched every rustle of bush or reed along the banks, expecting at any moment to see a mob of rats springing out at them. However, the situation did not seem to bother her companions a bit. Chugger curled up amid the food packs and snored like a holt full of otters, whilst Martin, Dinny, and Gonf chatted amiably, lying back and trailing their paws in the water. Had Trimp observed them more closely, she would have noticed that the three Redwallers were alert as hunting hawks, keeping their weapons close by at all times. Evening fell, and still there was no sign of rats. Martin took precautions by nosing the raft onto a rock, which jutted up in the center of the stream, making a rope fast to it. Dinny fished about until he located a broad, flat stone close to the rock. Hauling it aboard, the clever mole built a small fire on it. Martin chopped vegetables with his sword, whilst Trimp dug out dried water shrimp and herbs from a haversack. Gaunt filled their small cauldron with fresh stream water, and Chugger sat warming his paws by the fire. Martin tossed the vegetables into the pot and wiped his sword clean. A fire at night isn't the best idea in these parts, then. The mole watched his soup carefully as he stirred it. Mayhap tain't, sir. But if any beast be going to attack us'ns, they do it fire or not. Breezes on 'e water be a bit chill. Not like a good drop of soup, nice and hot to keep 'e warm and happy. Gonf cut a loaf of rye bread into chunks. Can't argue with mole logic, mate. Dinny's right. Dinny's soup was good, and they sat around the cauldron, each with a wooden spoon and chunk of bread, sharing the meal in true traveler fashion. Martin set up 2 oar poles and brought the sail forward, draping it over one of them as a precaution against rain during the night. Shrimp found a narrow flagon of elderberry wine and passed it round, each taking a few sips. The hogmaid smiled. There, that should keep the chills away. What now, mates? Gonf smiled back at her. Now you give us a song, missy. Oh, no, my voice would carry over water. Let Dinny sing. A look passed between Martin and Gonf, and they both sighed. Never heard a mole sing before, have you, Trimp? No, I can't say I have. Why? Oh, nothing, mate. You sure you want to hear mole song? Of course I do. That is, if Dinny would be kind enough to oblige us with one of his songs. The mole's homely face creased deeply with pleasure. How could I refuse a pretty maid like ye, miss? Then he placed a paw over one ear, in traditional mole singer's manner, and launched into a mole ballad. Oh, doodle-um, roodle-um, wordle-um day, all on a bright summer morning, Bolduggle Mole were girdly brave, as I were told by my mother. 4 maidens by the score he'd save, like chestnuts one after another. Each morn he rode out from his abode, mounted on a milk-white toad, searching a dangerous forest road, looking for maidens. Oh, doodle-um, roodle-um, wordle-um day, all on a bright summer morning, he spied a girt fat mole wife there, and doffed his hat to her proudly, which frightened the mole wife out of her wits, and started to wail right loudly. He shoved her up on the back of his toad, and tried to ride off down he rode, but 2 fat moles was an heavy load, and he toad were crushed like a beetle. Oh, doodle-um, roodle-um, wordle-um day, all on a bright summer morning, then up come he good and stoutly mole. He cried, "Where there bless my life, there be 2 villains trying to steal my dear old fatty girt wife." So pulled out a naughty yash club, both Toad and Dougal he did rub. He gave 'em black and blue lumps to rub, and his wife he gave him cabbage for supper. Trimp and little Chugger were laughing so hard that they had trouble trying to join in on the chorus. Gonf shook his head at them sadly. Don't encourage him, mates. I've heard that song. There's still another 47 verses to go yet. Martin leapt on Dinny suddenly, stifling the mole's mouth with both paws. Trimp sniffed at the warrior severely. Don't be so bad-mannered, sir. Let poor Dinny finish his song. Chugger and I were enjoying it. Martin shot her a warning glance, his voice an urgent whisper. Don't make another sound, Trimp. Gonf, throw some water on that fire, and let's get in the stream quick. They obeyed Martin without question. Gonf flung water on the flames, which sizzled and hissed in clouds of white steam. Trimp found herself breathless in the cold stream, pulled there by Dinny. Keeping their heads low, the travelers clung to the raft. A hail of arrows hit the sailcloth shelter, some zipping through, others bouncing off to stick in the deck timbers. These were followed by a volley of sling stones and a couple of throwing spears, both of which buried their points in the food haversacks. Then there was silence. Chugger clung to Martin's neck, shivering. Cold and wet. Not nice in the water. Another lot of arrows hit the raft. Martin stroked the little squirrel's head, whispering softly. Shh, no, Chug. Right, let's swim over to the far bank. Try not to make any splashes. Go easy. As they swam off, a harsh voice called out from the opposite bank. Give 'em some more just to make sure, then we'll board the raft and have fun with any still breathing. The travelers made it safely to the far bank. Trimp found some dried grass and rolled Chugger in it. Then she joined her friends, watching from the thick bushes by the stream's edge. Swaying under the impact, the raft took several more salvos of missiles. Gonf nudged Dinny. Do you reckon we're slain by now, Din? Them ratters give any raft enough to finish off each tribe of badger folk, I be thinking. Martin began gathering pawfuls of pebbles from the shallows. Let's see how they like a spot of sniping. Wait for my word. Launching crude logboats, the rats made it clumsily across to the raft. There were so many of them that the raft began to tilt crazily. Boss Gurfang, their leader, caught hold of his son Riddick, who was trying to undo one of the haversacks, and snarled at the young rat. Well, where are they, these creatures you tried to slay, ya? I don't see them anywheres. Riddick cowered under his father's angry stare. I don't know where they went, but they was 5 of them. 2 old mice, a fat mole, a young hog, and a little squirrel. They all battered me with sling stones for no reason at all. I was just lying on the bank taking a nap. Gurfang tweaked his son's ear sharply. And you just lay there and let 'em do it? You, a boss's son? Stinking little coward, you make me sick. Riddick squealed as Gurfang stamped on his tail, protesting. I never just lay there. I got the hog with a stick, and the 2 little mice with big round stones. They can't have gone far. A dull thud sounded in the night. One of the rats toppled into the water. Gurfang turned on the rest. Be still and leave 'em and them haversacks alone, or you'll have us all in the stream. Stop rocking the raft, will ya? Thunk! A rat screeched and clapped both paws to his jaw. Gurfang grabbed the nearest rat, using him as a shield. Some be slinging at us! Get 'em! Splat, thwack, crack, thunk! Vermin let out agonized yells. 2 fell in the stream, and the raft rocked wildly as big round river pebbles whizzed out of the darkness, causing injury and chaos. Gurfang leapt with the others into the water. Seizing their logboat's sides, they swam madly back to their own bank, peppered relentlessly with stones. No sooner was Gurfang on dry land than the slinging ceased. He grabbed Riddick roughly by the scruff and hauled him ashore, then snapped a willow switch from a young sapling. 2 old mice, a fat mole, a young hog, and a little squirrel, eh? You rotten, bare-faced liar. Riddick danced in an agonized circle, his father holding him tight by the neck scruff, wailing away mercilessly with the willow switch. Yeah, I was telling the truth, son. Honest, I was. Yeah! Truth? You wouldn't know the truth if it fell on ya. Getting out of a tree, you mealy-mouthed fork-tongued worm. Gurfang laid on heavily with the switch, punctuating each word to drive home his message. There were more than 5 beasts to drive from this. Drive us from there, you 40-faced toad. Must have been at least 12, all trained warriors. The way they could aim and hit so good. Up now. There were 12 of them. Most of it was from upstream, wasn't there, you wretch? Tell the truth, or I'll slay ya. Gonf twirled his sling idly, winking at Trimp as they crouched in the bushes on the far bank. Does your heart to good listening to justice being done, missy? The hedgehog maid listened with satisfaction as he heard Riddig's wail echoing through the night. What? There were 12 of the otters beside the others. Don't do no more, boss, please. 12 otters, you was right. Ah! Following this revelation, Gurfang could be heard calling for the rest of his tribe as they deserted him. Where you lot off to? Get back here! Derisive shouts followed his command. Yeah, we ain't scrapping with no 12 otters. Go and fight your brats' battles yourself. Your Riddig started it. Gonf grinned, stowing his sling about his waist. You know what they say. Truth never hurts any beast. Martin unbuckled his sword and borrowed Gonf's dagger. So they say, mate. But you try telling that to Riddig. I'll wager he's sorry he ever threw that stick at Trimp. Wait here. I'll swim out to our raft and cut it loose. Next morning, dry and well-breakfasted, the friends sailed onward, staying close to the far bank. Summer warmth raised their spirits, with Gonf confiding aloud to Martin and Trimp. I reckon it was Riddig caused all that fuss, you know. Trump looked up from the dough she was kneading for lunch. Was it not? Who do you think was responsible then? Dinny's singing, of course. It drove the rats wild, and they attacked us to stop the horrible noise, missy. You terrible cruiser, Gunfin. My old grandmam always said I had a voice like a lark at first light. That's 'cause your old grandmam was deaf as a post, Din. Dinny continued chopping candied fruit, not raising his eyes. Oi, and thy old granddad always said you were a most girtly handsome creature. Nice old beast he was. I used to take him for walks lest he bump into trees. Blind he were, poor creature. High noon found them pooled into a shady inlet out of the hot midday sun. Trimp wanted to bake a candied fruit turnover, but she had no oven. With mole ingenuity, Dinny solved the problem. He cemented flat pieces of shale together with stiff brown clay and water, making a neat little box, which, with the turnover inside, was placed on the fire. Martin and Gonf prepared the torn sail, rent by rat weapons. No beast paid much attention to little Chugger. Trimp warned him to stay close to the camp, and he did for a while. But whilst Trimp was busy with her cooking and Dinny was digging for fresh roots and vegetables, Chugger wandered off. Trimp called out to her friends, Come on, lunch is ready. Bring your appetite with you. Hastily wiping their paws in the stream, they strolled to the camp, sniffing the air appreciatively. Boy, okie, something smells nice, marm. Candied chestnut fruit turnover. Just the thing. It is ages since I tasted fruit turnover. The hedgehog had discovered a small flagon of new cider at the bottom of Martin's pack. She poured out beakers for all and laid out chunks of hot turnover on a piece of birch bark she had found before saying, Where's that little rascal Chugger? Dinny shrugged as he helped himself to lunch. Oh, you're about here someplace, I expect. You seed him? Martin took a gulp of the crisp-tasting apple cider. Me? No, I thought he was with you, Din. Me and Gonf were busy fixing up the raft. Did you notice Chugger around, Gonf? The mouse thief shook his head. No, sorry, I ain't seen him. Seating himself, he began blowing on his turnover to cool it. Old Chugger'll soon come running when he smells you cooking, Miss Trimp. You'll see. But Chugger did not come. They sat and ate lunch, glancing about and giving occasional shout to the little squirrel's name. Still nothing. Trimp was worried. Martin, will you go and take a look around? I'm sure Chugger couldn't have gotten far. The warrior put aside his food. Let's all take a look. Spreading about in different directions, they began combing the area. Martin and Gonf went east and west along the bank, whilst Dinny searched in and around the camp area in case Chugger was having a game with them. Trimp ventured alone into the woodland, knowing that Martin and Gonf would circle inward to meet up with her when they had searched the bank both ways. Tree shelter became thick and gloomy, blocking out most of the sunlight and leaving the depths cloaked in a murky green twilight. The hedgehog maid went cautiously, calling out in a subdued voice, Chugger, where are you, mate? Come out, my little Chug. Her voice fell dead upon her ears, with no echo. She felt very small amid the tall columns of oak, elm, and beech. Then her sharp ears began to pick up the odd noise, and she smiled to herself. That would be Chugger, playing one of his little tricks, stalking her mischievously. She decided to hide and turn the tables on him. Swiftly, Trimp ran behind a broad, bump-gnarled black poplar and was knocked flat by the creature that had been following her. She squeaked in fright at the sight of it. And that's where we're going to end this week. Thank you again so much for joining me. I do hope you join me again next week. If you're enjoying these, remember to like, share, subscribe, the whole YouTube thing. Special thank you to my patrons who are at this time. If there are others, they will be in my hands. That'd be fun. Avalon, Link, and Lizzie, thank you guys so much for joining me. If you also want to join them in the Patreon, links to that are in the description, along with other links to support the channel. I hope you guys join me again next week for the next chapter. Yeah. Stay safe. Wash your hands. I hope you guys have a good week. And I will see you next time.